It's the Brian and Kindra Show with Brian Cook and Kindra Cox of Keller Williams Realty Elite.
I am Kendra Cox.
I'm Brian Cook.
Between the two of us, we have over 30 years of experience.
Sharing real estate tips and advice. Right here on Classic Hits 1073. It's the Brian and Kindra Show with Brian Cook and Kindra Cox of Keller Williams Realty Elite.
I am Kendra Cox.
I'm Brian Cook.
Between the two of us, we have over 30 years of experience.
Sharing real estate tips and advice. Right here on Classic Hits 1073.
I'm sure I could work an extra hour or something and make it. Okay, so that was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Amazing.
It really does.
Super fun, exciting things. So then you said we could do our radio program out here. Like, I may have asked and invited myself because sometimes I do that. And the boss panicked a little, didn't he?
Just a little.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's all good.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about somebody on Facebook Live, I'm sorry, just said that our Facebook Live sound isn't good. It sounds like we're trying to do a rap song.
Got it.
Okay, I'm going to lose it now. Yeah, I don't know how to rap, and I don't have rhythm. So, okay, well, this is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, where was I at? We're going to talk about, I'm excited because we're going to talk about final walkthroughs.
Yes.
But so just a little bit today, like you had a final walkthrough. We're going to talk about your experience in just a couple minutes. You had a couple of final walkthroughs today.
Yes.
And you spent some time at Woodward County. Today you're going to spend, do you realize you're spending like the whole day tomorrow at Woodward County Abstract? I am so jealous.
That. Well,
yes,
they have lots
you're
of
going to
candy in the bowl.
You're going to need one of these drinks from Black Diamond. They brought me over an orangey orange, little hydration. Got you a limey lime.
My limey lime's not green. I expected it to be green.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. You just didn't order the right thing. All right, so what else do we have going on? Oh, we need to do some market stats.
Yes. Oh, gosh. Dang
Please tell me you remembered them.
It would be a disappointment to everybody in the Facebook Live world, both of them.
Okay, so they can't even hear you on Facebook Live. But don't run away with market stats. Oh, I'm going to do the market stats. Are you ready? This is fantastic, Branson. Branson, last week we had 58 active listings on the market in 73801 area code. Do you want to guess how many there are today?
How many was last year or last week?
Last week was 58.
58.
Yes.
This week.
Here, let me tell you a
63.
year ago. Actually, this is fun. A year ago, there were 95.
Oh, wow.
For real. Today, there are 58.
58?
Yes.
Oh, it didn't change?
Isn't that crazy? No, it didn't change. Now, there have been new listings, but they've gone under contract. There have been other ones gone under contract, so it'll make that even out. So, okay, the number of new residential listings this week in the 73801 area code was 4. Do you want to take over, or am I doing good?
You're doing great.
Yeah, don't take my drink. Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Now can they hear us? Can you hear me now?
I don't know, because I'm doing your job, so I can't look at Facebook Live. All right, so then the number of residential pendings right now in the 73801 area code are 33 under contract. That's exciting. That's up a little bit from last week and up quite a bit from 2 weeks ago when you were on vacation. Hey, thanks for coming back, getting things going.
Getting things moving. I know what happens when I'm gone. Not done. No.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's downright offensive, isn't it?
Yeah,
Did it look like I was doing nothing?
I'm just saying in the pending column. That's
all. Right, okay.
The closed column.
I'm probably going to be late to work tomorrow now. All right, so I don't know where I was. Residential pendings in the total of Northwest Oklahoma, so that's like Moreland, Sharon, Fort Supply, 53. New pendings in Northwest Oklahoma are 10.
Bunch.
But here's my favorite. The residential closings for Northwest Oklahoma in the last week are 5. And of those, all of those were actually in the 73801 area code. So we're down to 3.41 months of housing supply.
Yep.
Which is kind of blowing my mind. So, because we keep hearing different places like Wichita and Oklahoma City and some of the different,
being like less than a month of inventory.
And that's just hard to even comprehend. And we talk about, I mean, that'd be an exciting market, but you and I have talked in the office how we kind of worry about having to deal with that kind of a market because we recognize how difficult that is for buyers. I think it puts actual stress on sellers too. It's good for sellers, more money. But man, it can get kind of tense, and it's stressful for agents.
It is.
Very stressful for agents.
And they're like, well, the seller wins, the seller wins, the seller wins. Well, really, the seller, if they're buying something else, they don't win. I mean, because then they've got to go through the same thing on the other side.
All right, so exciting stuff. Do you want to take now? It says it's still off. Okay. All right, so we are ready probably to take a break, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk about final walkthroughs and what to do.
Okay, sounds good.
right, we'll be right back.
Comfort Zone is a multi-generational company serving Northwest Oklahoma in commercial and residential needs. Plumbing, air conditioning, heaters, refrigeration, sewer and drain cleaning, backhoe trencing, and crane service. And they are your geothermal specialists. Contact them at 580-254-5864 or stop by 116 East Main Street.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma and Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
On Point Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma and Southwest Kansas. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 19 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call On Point Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or at 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
This is Todd McHugh,
Jackie Jones,
and Flor Castro
with Woodward County Abstract. Thank you to all of Northwest Oklahoma for letting Woodward County Abstract handle all of your real estate closing and title needs.
We provide real estate closings and title insurance for all of Northwest Oklahoma.
Pasen a verme para todas sus dudas y preguntas sobre bienes raíces. Con gusto les explico el proceso y estoy disponible a cada paso de la transacción para asistir con lo que usted necesite para cerrar su contrato.
We appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Connie Rowland in the Mortgage Department at Bank 7. Bank 7 is a full-service bank with over 40 years of combined experience. Melinda Russo and I are a dynamic duo team committed to making your loan process smooth. With a variety of loan products, we would love to sit down with you and discuss your loan options in person, or we offer online and over-the-phone application processing. The Woodward branch is located at 34th in Oklahoma. Find us online at mortgage.bank7.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Bank 7 is an equal housing lender in MLS 677297. Phone 580-254-0100, where our best investment is you.
Hey, we are back at the rodeo.
We are at the rodeo. This is so fun. Except, I mean, it's a little challenging. We're not super techie with the whole Facebook Live part on this, but Branson and Russell have got us going on the radio, so radio does not have any problems. So radio's where it's at.
We lost Branson.
We lost Branson. Poor Branson.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you now. Yay.
Now you can, it's in and out on this mic.
So now we see Branson as well. Okay, so last week we talked about what to expect for closing.
Right.
And so this week we want to talk about final walkthrough, but we didn't really hit on sellers last week.
We didn't.
So for sellers, the stressful part is that closing isn't closed until it's closed.
Right.
And so we're asking them to do a big thing. We're asking them to pack up all of their belongings, put them in a U-Haul or whatever moving company that they would use, and go to closing and not necessarily have a place to put their things, and wait until after it funds before a buyer gets keys. But these sellers are just kind of displaced, and it sounds terrible, but it's really kind of the way that it is.
It is. And so, like today, I had two walkthroughs, and so basically the final walkthrough is we're meeting with the buyer, we're doing a walk through the property, verifying that everything is as it was when we started the transaction, that they didn't take the kitchen cabinets out or the doorknobs off or the bathroom mirrors or things like that weren't included, or if they agreed to leave the refrigerator and took it, that type of deal, and make sure everything's working correctly. So first thing this morning, we get to Fort Supply, and sure enough, the after was getting ready to walk out, I said, man, the air conditioner is not quite doing what it's supposed to be doing. So we did walk around on the house, found out that the something was wrong with the air conditioner, and that's part of the transaction because it needs to be working. Luckily, I had one of the best buyers I've had ever. He's like, gosh, just give me the part and I'll fix it.
I bought a house from you. I don't appreciate you ever.
Well, on to the next story. And so Yeah, so we buzz back to Woodward and get the parts, and he's actually fixing it right now. He just messaged me that he was trying to let it cool off, but he couldn't handle it anymore, so he's just going to go fix it. So we got him all the parts, and he's going to fix it. And then this afternoon, I met another couple, and they're used to a more standard transaction. So they went through. They just closed on their house Wednesday, and they went through and patched all the holes where they pulled they pulled the nails out, spackled them, touched up their whole house, patched every hole. Well, at the next house, we went in, and they're like, well, they left some nail holes here. Not that they're picky,
right?
But they expected the same service on the other end. It's not a big deal. And then their paint doesn't match, and so we've got a small hiccup there. We got to get some matching paint tomorrow to help them out. So, but it comes back to on these final walkthroughs, sometimes expecting people and what their expectations until you get there, we don't know.
Let's talk about a couple of different things. First and foremost, then, what expectations should one have? Should nail holes be spackled and painted with, and a lot of times whenever we see somebody spackle and paint over a nail hole, the paint doesn't match.
Right.
That happens frequently.
Yeah, right, don't touch it.
So do we expect for that to happen, or should we not expect for that to happen?
Right, so they patched a bunch of holes, but then the paint didn't match. So really, they just created more work. I think they're going to have to repaint the entire bedroom now in the bathroom. But nonetheless, it is it's back to the expectation. So I sold my brother's house, which is funny, a long time ago.
It's not really that funny.
And as we was moving out, he didn't hire somebody else to sell it. That would have been funnier, but he didn't. And so he moves all the way out, and he calls me. He said, "Oh, I messed up." I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, Scott, when we was painting the master bedroom, we spilled a gallon of paint, but our bed covered it, so we didn't worry about it."
Oh, no.
The day before closing, we're scurrying to get new carpet put in the master bedroom because we couldn't fix the paint.
That sounds like a nightmare, but that's the thing. And that's one of the things that I think is so helpful with our team. I was going to say, we have these great contacts. You have really great contacts. And we're able to usually kind of handle these things that come up on the fly.
Yep.
So one of the things I think is super important, we try really hard to schedule final walkthrough the day before closing.
Yes.
So your closing today, actually, you were there at 9:15, closing was at 10, and your closing was actually, your final walkthrough was in a different community.
Right.
That's kind of stressful.
It was.
And we try not to do that to buyers, but this guy was flying in. He's not from the area, and so that created some difficulties that
right.
we tried to avoid. So we tried to do the final walkthrough the night before. So like today, your 4:30 was for a different for a closing tomorrow. So that gave a little bit of time for you to handle those emergencies. So tip number 1, schedule your final walkthrough a day in advance if at all possible. Too much more than a day in advance is nearly impossible because the seller is trying to get out of the house. So kind of tricky, but that's what we try to do. So at the final walkthrough, do you have this is going to be fun because I'm just going to start harassing you now because I know the answers. Do you have a process that you help your buyers go through their final walkthrough?
Not, I guess. I guess I've done it so many times. We just start through the house.
Yeah.
Check plumbing.
We've done it so many times.
I kick the faucets on. Look for things that would be hidden in a bedroom or a bathroom or a closet that was when they move furniture, make their things so it's there. Do a walk around on the outside of the house, make sure none of the faucets are leaking. Kick the air conditioner on, make sure it's working, or the heater, whatever season it is. Check the hot water, make sure it's working. Just make sure things that we've seen the surprises, lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been in the house already a couple of times, so we kind of have an idea of what we'll be looking for. So I just guide them through and say, hey, we're making sure nothing's a surprise, make sure all the cabinets are here, make funny jokes like that most people don't laugh at. And then
I'm sorry.
and then we go on to just making sure everything's back in the condition it was when they bought the house. We're not expecting it to be, unless you negotiated that, all freshly painted and new carpet, and we're not. Generally it's in the same condition it was when you agreed.
That's how the contract reads. The contract says that the home
wear and tear.
That the home would still be in the same conditions when you contracted, less wear and tear, normal wear and tear. That's kind of tricky.
Right.
What's considered normal.
Yep.
So whenever you're moving all of your furniture out, if you nick the trim on a door frame, is that normal or not normal? I feel like that's normal, but I know that some of my buyers are like, that is not normal.
Right.
So that's tricky because our definitions of normal can be different. During the contract, we have a time period that we do inspections, and from the inspections, our buyers are able to request repairs to be completed by the seller. So that's something I take. Like, I used to bring the paper with me, but now we're all digital. So I pull it up on my phone while we're there, and I say, these are the things you asked for. You asked for the water heater to be raised. Did you verify it was? Yes, I did. It looks good. Lately, I think every appraisal that we've had has required a TPRV. Did I say it right?
Pressure relief valve.
That thing that comes down from the water heater, so that if it needs to release water, it doesn't blow in your face. That's what I described that as. How'd I do? Yeah, that's what it is. Who needs fancy names? Make sure that's on there. So I go through the list with them, and we kind of walk through when we see. So last time even, one of the last ones that I had to do when you were on your vacation and nobody did any work, I had to meet your buyers for their final walkthrough, but I wasn't working. It was all play. So they had a backflow preventer. I'm harassing you, and it's fun, and you're going to be fine. They had a backflow preventer added to the property, and so we went and, in fact, the buyers were like, I don't really know what that is. And so, with all the sewer problems I've had, I knew exactly what it was. It was easy.
See this dirt spot?
Yeah, this is where they did it. So, all right. So those are things that I do on the final walkthrough. Sometimes surprises come up. So once in a while, it's not that something didn't get completed, but that there's a new surprise, like your air conditioner thing today. So what else do you have about a final walkthrough?
That is the main thing. You're verifying repairs. Sometimes things included in the sale. We kind of just talked about that. So sometimes they'll leave the refrigerator. Sometimes they're the playground out furniture or whatever outside patio furniture. Sometimes you leave stuff that and that we just want to make sure that's done. The other thing is like make sure things aren't so, like we did the walkthrough in the Fort Supply today, and a couple of the windows were opened, which we thought was a little bit weird, and so we went back in and shut them to secure the property. Make sure there's nothing funky. Cleaning is another one. It's weird. I mean, when you move out of your house, it's just like the house gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and it's not you.
No, it's not. Everyone's house seems to be dirty when they move out. It just is what it is.
Yes. And so even when I sold my house and I had a weed cleaner, I have a peer person that comes and cleans my house. Even when I moved out, I thought, oh, my gosh, hurry up. Bring in the full crew. Clean this house.
You're embarrassed your buddy to see your filth.
And so it's just, you just can't get the dust and the hidey things away from underneath the cabinets and counters. And this is very distracting to see.
Yeah, I wondered how you were doing with all this. And I'm just sitting back and enjoying it. So people are driving by.
What are we talking about again?
Radio land. We're at the rodeo. So everybody is on their little cars, and people are walking by, going back and forth to get, I don't know, what is it tonight, barbecue?
It's barbecue and beans tonight.
Yeah, barbecue and beans. Ooh, what kind of beans? Are they good beans? I don't really eat beans very much, so I don't even know why I'm asking.
They won't be awesome.
Magical.
My wife will be just jealous.
Speaking of the backflow preventer. All right, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there, but that's just my junior high humor. So here we are. We're back at the final walkthrough.
Yep.
And I had a question. Oh, you were just talking about cleaning, and you're talking about how even people who are immaculate housekeepers, still when we move, we find you.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, back to what we consider to be normal. What's a normal cleaning? How clean is the house supposed to be for the buyer? At what point do I throw a fit and say, I'm not moving in, I'm not closing until this is different?
Right, and I think it comes back to what was the condition it was when you moved in? And did they just
condition whenever you contracted?
Yes, contracted. Mm-hmm. Did they just kick all their, did they just sweep everything under the couch? So when you drove by, it looked nice. When they moved the couch, you got 3 layers of Cheerios and milk stuck to the floor. Well, that would be obvious. And it's really everybody's preference. I mean, most people tend to, I'm going to move in tomorrow, but I'm going to clean before I move in. I feel like that's crazy because I'm going to mess it all up moving in. So I'm going to move in and then I'm going to clean my house. But whatever. We could just do it twice, but that's like too much work. So it comes back to discretion of, if you are concerned when you're buying a house with the, we need some music with our deal. If you are concerned with the condition and the cleanliness of the house when you sign the contract, like, hey, I'm a little concerned they're not going to get these spots out of the carpet, or you need to bring that up so that we are working on coordinating a cleaning person the day of closing or day before closing, and we've done that. We do that quite a bit. We can, if you're not from town or you don't have a professional cleaner that works for you, we will do that. We will help you coordinate that so that when you move in, a lot of times if the seller moves out, we'll have carpets cleaned a day or two in advance. So when you move in, they're dry and ready. We've had house cleaners show up day of closing and just plow through a house and make it a complete difference in the house.
Yeah.
And so that's why we do what we do. It's just making sure it's making all those connections.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk back. That's me. I talk
back all the time. What's new today?
That was not very nice.
Drink that.
Was
that
it,
was
Ross?
messy.
Yeah, it would be too bad if you just spilled that. All right, so we will be back in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about some fun horror stories.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Comfort Zone is a multi-generational company serving Northwest Oklahoma in commercial and residential needs. Plumbing, air conditioning, heaters, refrigeration, sewer and drain cleaning, backhoe trencing, and crane service. And they are your geothermal specialists. Contact them at 580-254-5864 or stop by 116 East Main Street.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma in Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
OnPoint Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma and Southwest Kansas. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 19 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call OnPoint Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or at 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
This is Todd McHugh,
Jackie Jones,
and Flor Castro.
with Woodward County Abstract. Thank you to all of Northwest Oklahoma for letting Woodward County Abstract handle all of your real estate closing and title needs.
We provide real estate closings and title insurance for all of Northwest Oklahoma.
Pasen a verme para todas sus dudas y preguntas sobre bienes raíces. Con gusto les explico el proceso y estoy disponible a cada paso de la transacción para asistir con lo que usted necesite para cerrar su contrato.
We appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Connie Rowland in the mortgage department at Bank 7. Bank 7 is a full-service bank with over 40 years of combined experience. Melinda Russo and I are a dynamic duo team committed to making your loan process smooth. With a variety of loan products, we would love to sit down with you and discuss your loan options in person, or we offer online and over-the-phone application processing. The Woodward branch is located at 34th in Oklahoma. Find us online at mortgage.bank7.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Bank 7 is an equal housing lender in MLS 677297. Phone 580-254-0100, where our best investment is you.
Well, we are the Brian and Kindra Show at the rodeo today. I don't think we said any of that when we started.
I think I said it because I love the rodeo.
Oh, I was working on the phone.
Oh, yeah, you
Mics
were working.
don't work.
That's awesome.
Nobody can hear us. Hello.
Well, the radio land can hear us. It's
That's
fine.
the important
We're doing
thing.
fine.
So, yeah.
Okay, so here we are. We're at the rodeo because Branson said we could. Thank you, Branson, for letting us come out here and sit in the million-degree weather.
Thanks for joining me.
Branson's just glad he has somebody to sit and sweat with. It's fine.
We're the system test. That's what we are. Yeah. Hey, we'll send them guys out there and make sure all this stuff works right.
How's it going?
It's going great.
Okay, fantastic.
Except for your mic.
Well, we're good.
Except for my mic.
Yeah, poor Branson. He got the crummy mic. All right, he said I got the best one, but anyway. Okay, so some scary stories. When I say horror stories, I think it sounds weird. So let's just go with scary stories from Final Walkthroughs. I overheard one of the agents in our local real estate was telling a story. She said she purchased her home through another agent before she had gotten her license. And she said that when they went through the final walkthrough, they all went, whoa, where's that piece of baseboard? So evidently the sellers had put their baseboard right up to the couch, and then they started again on the other side of the couch. So there was a couch-sized piece of baseboard missing. And we kind of laughed because a lot of times we don't see those things because we're excited about how everything looks. And so, and the sofa makes a difference on how the living room looks. So evidently they had some really cute furniture.
Yep. So yeah, horror stories. I'm going to say horror stories. So one of my very first closings, way back in the early 2000s, 2001 or 2, we were, it was south of town, and it was a pretty rough house. The guy had moved out of town, so the house had been vacant for quite a while. We go in FHA. Well, the original contract was FHA. The girl was buying it, actually moving here from Florida. I don't know where the seller was actually from, but he wasn't in Woodward either. So the day before closing, I'm like, hey, we got to go do our final work through. So we meet out at the house, and we walk up to the house at the same time, and I unlock the back door, and I open the door, and the water runs over and fills my shoes. The house was like 6 inches deep of water.
My goodness.
Oh, man. And so as I walk in, the water heater, on top of the water heater where the valve comes out, where the hose comes out, it was broke, and the amount of water pressure had punctured the sheetrock in the utility room and into the kitchen, and water was just spewing into the kitchen like a full stream fire hose. And it was hot water. It was bad. I think the house...
I'm sure not supposed to laugh, but I'm sorry, that's the funniest picture I've got in my head for a long time.
Man, and so I didn't know what to do, so I called my broker back then. Hey, it's your problem. How do I fix this? And luckily, the buyer was awesome, and the seller was awesome. And we postponed closing because we can do that. And we got it figured out there was like $20,000 worth of damage.
Oh, my goodness.
So the seller just dropped the price $20,000, and the buyer's dad stepped in and just bought it cash and moved on, and they did a remodel. So, yeah, it was pretty insane closing. Nothing has ever been quite that crazy since. So I was
thankfully
trial by fire. I mean, trial by water. Waterboarded me that day. So the other one is my own brother, who was his recollection of his paint job.
Yes.
Which was, I mean, and again, we had really good connections, and I made a couple of quick calls, and the buyer was very nice to allow us to get new carpet in his master bedroom. And unfortunately, it didn't match the rest of the house. They could have threw a big fit and be like, well,
sure,
now none of it matches. We went all new, but he didn't. And I called my guy, and what do you got in stock today? And they went and put it in, and everybody was happy.
And it seems like, most frequently it seems like it's a furnace or an air conditioner, because it never fails that these warmer days that pop up on us, or a cooler day in the wintertime, the first cold day, if we have a closing, we can just bet that the furnace is probably going to break. And same with the air conditioner. So that happens frequently. Those are important things to check. And today, you said in the vehicle, that's one of the things I wanted to comment on, and that's why I asked about your processes. You said y'all were leaving. You were outside and said, you know what, we never checked the air conditioner, and went back in, and then sure enough, the air conditioner wasn't functioning. So I mean, we really got to kind of pay attention, and it would help probably to have a checklist. Yep. And so now we have one.
See, it's prepared for the radio show, maybe not to walk in. So, there was another one. So the other day we had a closing where we were working on closing whoever that helped move them out, unhooked the washer dryer, and the washer hose was leaking.
Oh, no.
And so that was the day I called both carpet cleaning companies. They was both tied up, so I have a little rug doctor thingy. Sure. And so I blew over and sucked water for about an hour and put a fan drying thing on there so that it could at least get it dry enough, would create more damage. And so and then a couple days later, the carpet's clean, so it fixed everything. But, if it had been a week, who knows how bad that would have been. So,
exactly.
So again, the washer valves are a big deal, and the refrigerator valve.
Yes, those water lines from the ice maker. Those
are the biggest things. Are water leaks, heat and air, and then just unclean. The expectation of the cleanliness is the other one. It's the big things that we see that hang us up. So
I think the important thing to remember is it doesn't matter how hard we try. But if I don't walk through how hard your inspector tries, there's still going to be things. When I move into a house, I am going to find things that are wrong with it.
They're all used
Even brand new, we find these funny little things that aren't quite perfect. Yep. So I just think that's important to just remember, even when we try hard, that we still miss some of those things.
Yep.
So, all right, so we're at the rodeo.
Yep. Come out to the rodeo. Man, Woodward, Oklahoma
has some barbecue.
Has one of the biggest, best rodeos in the country.
It's my favorite.
And so I know I take it for granted. We're going to come out tomorrow night. None of my family wanted to come, but I'm going to drag them all out here. But they'll enjoy it once they get here. So, hey, come out to the rodeo. It's the Brian and Kindra Show. We appreciate being on the radio, and we appreciate you guys listening to us.
Your new favorite, Classic Hits 107.3 KLSI Moreland Woodward. Tell a friend.